in the day, like, day 3 and 4 of the course, I'm always like, ones and zeros are the best, right? And that's true when we're dealing with, like, equations. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Totally true. It's going to keep it very simple when you're dealing with smaller values. But here we're dealing with a geometry question where, I think things should be kind of as they look in geometry. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So here's what I'm going to do. Let me pick the value. I'm going to show you what that looks like. Let's make x feet. Let's make that like 15 right here. We're going to make that side 15. We're just going to make this side 15 also. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And we'll make this side here 30. Okay. Do you see why that top length has to be 30, Shayla? Do you see why that's the case?
Is it because both sides on the bottom are 15?
Because the two other sides are 15. And remember, the whole fence has to add up to 60 feet.
Yeah.
Right? So if I make if I make x 15, which I did, then the top length has got to be 30. I mean, I could have done like 10 and 10, and then the top one would have been 40.
Okay.
Right? As long as it adds up to 60, we're good. Does that make some sense?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. By the way, what's the length now of the garden on the side of the wall? What's the length? I'll bet you know what it is. You can just look at it and tell me.
You add both sides?
Well, strangely, I think that might get it to you. But remember, we're looking for the length of we're looking for that length right there, the length against the wall.
Oh, okay. I understand.
You could probably just look at it and tell me what that length is. You don't have to calculate anything. What's that length?
I might be wrong, but because you're trying to get 60, right?
Well, the fence altogether. There's not a fence along the wall, right? There's not a fence along the wall. So we've already got, in this parting green here, we've already got 60 in that parting green. I'm asking, what's this length right here? That's along the wall.
I don't know if I'm going to be wrong if I say that.
Yeah, take a stab at it. If you're just going to guess, look, and here, let me give you a hint. Remember, this length up here is 30.
So the bottom has to be 30.
So the bottom's got to be 30. Absolutely. Does that make sense?
I thought I was wrong.
No, don't listen. Let me help you out. Listen, I am wrong all the time. All the time. Can I share a life lesson with you, Shayla? Can I share? Do you mind? And I know, this isn't exactly in the PSI or whatever. I don't care. But, don't be afraid to make mistakes. I used to, my whole life, much of my life, I've been afraid of making mistakes. You know what I'm saying? I've been afraid of making mistakes. The problem is, if you're afraid of making mistakes, it's just paralyzing. You never do anything. When I put these videos out, I wasn't even thinking. I was just I was inspired to just I'm just gonna help a bunch of people. I'll just see what happens. I wasn't even thinking. The video quality was terrible. The audio quality was terrible. You know what I'm saying? But it helped people. But if I was afraid to it's not very good, it's not very professional. None of that would have happened. None of that would have happened. So these days, and don't get me wrong, I have a fear of making mistakes still. I just fight it all the time. So don't be afraid to make mistakes. Don't be afraid. Be afraid of not trying.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Don't be afraid of not trying. All right, anyway. So, that length along the wall is 30. All right. Any questions about that, or are we good?
Are we good?
Okay, good. All right, now remember, the question is saying, in terms of x, right, which is 15, right? And I want to make that really, really clear, okay? When we're plugging in values, I think it's always wise to set that value somewhere on a piece of paper, right? X is 15. Okay. So in terms of 15, in terms of x, what is the length in feet of the side of the garden that's against the wall? Okay. Now we know the side against the wall is 30.
Yes, sir.
So when I plug in a 15 for x, the right answer choice has to give me 30.
Okay.
I want you to stop and think about that for a minute, right? Remember, the question says, in terms of x, what's the length of the side of the garden that's against the wall? Which is 30, right? So in terms of x, which answer choice gives you 30? Does that make sense, Shayla?
Yes, sir.
Okay, great. Well, let's plug in our 15 for x and see what gives us 30. Go ahead and plug in 15 for x in answer choice A. Let's see what that gives us. And you can just write right next to the answer choice. There's some space there just to the right of it.
Well, it's going to be 30 plus 15.
Yep, exactly, right? Go and write that out. I want to see it. Please.
45.
45, right? And that's, we know the right answer has to give us 30. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
So A is gone.
Oops.
Adios. Try answer choice B.
So that'll be 30. So X has to be 15.
Yep, it's still 15.
So 30. Oops. Oh my god. 30 plus. Oops. So that'll be 2 times.
Yep. 2 times what?
2 times 15.
2 times 15, absolutely. Is that going to give us 30?
Yes. And 30 plus 30 is 60.
That's altogether it's 60, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, right. And we don't want 60 again. We want 30.
What 30, yeah.
So it can't be answer
So-
choice B. He's gone. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
All right, let's try answer choice C.
So that'll be 60 minus 15. It's 45.
45, not 30. C is gone.
No. So the next one would be 60 minus 2 times 15 is 30.
That's going to be 30. Absolutely, right?
Yes, sir.
Answer choice D. Does that make sense?